Welcome to the St. Maarten Heineken Regatta at the St. Maarten Yacht Club.
Welcome to the first day of the Budget Marine Match Racing Series here on Simpson Bay. This is the inaugural event for the series. First time they've had match racing event before the Heineken Regatta.
I think for us it was fantastic. It added a whole new dimension to the regatta. We're trying to increase our spectators' participation in the event, and so we sort of opened that door a little bit. The sponsor was happy. They got great coverage out of the event, so all in all it worked well.
I think the one thing that everyone's going to be trying to do here today is to have Peter Holmberg in their sights, the U.S. Virgin Islands sailor, Olympian, silver medalist, an America's Cup sailor, probably one of the best sailors ever to come out of the Virgin Islands.
But it's fantastic to be able to sail against someone of that caliber, and I'm hugely impressed he comes here and puts his neck on the line and allows guys like us to go and have a pop, because it's, what we got to lose. We're going to have a go,
Yeah, real hats off to Robbie Ferran and Budget Marine for doing this. I think it's very smart of them. I think match racing's a great spectator boat. It adds a little spice to everything.
We did laugh today when his mast fell down. We said, okay, now guys, till the end of our lives we can say we beat Peter Holmberg in a match race. We just want to discuss the detail after that.
Match racing in the Caribbean has not been developed enough, and I think this is a step towards doing that, and so we're hoping that we can get more of it done, and other regattas will follow suit, and in BVI and Antigua and everywhere else, and in Puerto Rico, that they will also look to increase the match racing.
We're going to follow the IGY Commodore Cup. This is the first time that IGY, Island Global Yachting, have sponsored this event, and everybody's thrilled about that.
We had less boats, but I think the less boats went across the board, and in spite of us losing some of the very big boats, we maintained that strong 40 to 60 foot racing group. The core racing group was intact or improved.
All in all, over 50 boats today for the third running of the Commodore's Cup. IGY did a great job sponsoring. Race committee work was again pretty flawless. Got 3 races in without a problem. I think it was good that they had sort of 10 knots today, 12 knots instead of the 22 that we're going to see, or 25 that we're going to see, or more as the weekend goes on. So this was a good shakedown day for those guys. But all in all, a great day of racing. Great to be back here for the Heineken Regatta, and we're off and running.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, hop, spot, 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 hop, stop. When you set up that new party, really got the beat on the chair,
Day one of the St. Maarten Heineken Regatta is about to commence. It's going to be a pretty interesting day, we think, on the water. About 220 boats have signed up and are registered for the event this year. Numbers are slightly down from last year, but still, compared to Key West Race Week, a lot of the other regattas that are happening right now, 220 boats scheduled to be on the starting line. It looks like it's going to be a pretty good day, so we'll see what happens.
Sailors have lots of passion. They want to do their regattas. They will do their regattas. And even though there is a reduction in the total number of boats, the core sailors group, the ones with the passion, they have a very high rate of return.
A pretty interesting day. The forecast calls for northerly winds, maybe a bit of sea wave building up as the day goes on. Today we're going to hope for a little bit cleaner sailing. Be good if we have some moderate conditions. We're not quite sure what we're going to get, but the sky looks a little threatening here, and we're wondering if, maybe some breeze is going to come in before it's all said and done.
Here in the Caribbean, we're all so spoiled, and I suppose that's what makes it so wonderful. We're used to the wind always blowing out of the east, and in 28 years, it's always blown out of the east, maybe with a little bit of south or north here and there, but generally speaking out the east. And now, for a change, we had up to around 25 knots out of the north, and dramatically out of the north with big seas.
The opening day of the St. Maarten Heineken Regatta this year was probably one of the wildest, windiest, wettest race inaugural race days that we've had in the history of the event, and certainly in the last few years. The breeze filled in 25, 30 knots early on in the racing, gusting up to 30, 35 knots as the day went on, but a lot of havoc, a lot of damage on the course, several collisions, lots of blown sails, lots of bruised sailors, a couple of masts went over the side, a boat almost sunk. A very wet and wild and hectic day on the race course. Well, we're here on day 2 of the St. Maarten Heineken Regatta, the 29th edition. The northerly swell came in yesterday, the northerly breeze came in yesterday, and the race committee acted accordingly. Today's racing will take place all south of Simpson Bay.
Very happy. It could have been a lot worse than what it was. There was a lot of wind out there and everybody was a little worried that we would have a lot of problems.
When we realized the forecasts were going that way, we needed at least a 36-hour window. We had to do the planning and then the execution. We had to get it in a lot of media to get it through to all the 250 boats.
We use the VHF very widely, and we also use our notice board. Those are our 2 official ways of communication, and we still maintain that because very few of them have internet access.
Well, we did actually cancel 2 races in the multi-hull racing class, and they were a little disappointed.
Everybody understood. They know that it's not in our control with the weather, and we can't control the seas. So I think they were happy with the fact that we didn't cancel. We've learned a lot this year. Because bad things happen, you learn from them. And now we know that maybe we won't have 1 set of courses ready, we may have 6 set of courses ready, so that no matter what direction the wind comes from, we've got something prepared for it. So it's a blessing in disguise.
Even though we were on the south side of the island, supposedly the leeward side where it was going to be calmer and the conditions be easier, it was still wild out there. It was absolutely crazy. So the race committee made an absolutely perfect choice to not sail around the top end of the island. I can't even imagine what it would have been like up there today.
So at the end of the day, the sailors were happy, and the participants had a good time. They raced hard, and so we're thrilled that it ended up the way it did.
And then, after the racing was over, instead of the boats coming here, everybody else came to Marigot, so the party's still on in Marigot. Well, day 3 of the Heineken Regatta turned out to be yet another epic day, a real outstanding capper to what was an outstanding regatta. Luckily and sort of happily, the breeze was down a little bit today, down from the tops of 30 and 35 knots earlier in the week. We saw 20, 22, maybe a gust of 25 knots today, but for the most part, much more manageable conditions. The boats usually aren't used to sailing sort of anti-clockwise around the island, so going upwind to Tintamar was a pretty hairy race. They started off Simpson Bay, had a little bit of a windward leg. They reached off and then went upwind to Tintamar. And outside was pretty windy and pretty good sea running. The guys who stayed inshore did pretty well going up to Tintamar. Once they were up there, they were able to turn, set spinnakers, and come roaring down the coast. And when they came back around Point Blanche, it was an amazing sight to see all the spinnakers sort of rolling into the finish. I think the 29th Heineken Regatta will go down as one of the more interesting and certainly one of the breezier ones in memory. It was a tremendous event. And I think it's got everybody really psyched for the 30th year next year.
Actually, this year was perfect. We had the right number of boats, the right size parties, and the traffic management was excellent. So this was a great regatta.
The Heineken Regatta is definitely an asset. It attracts exactly what we want to do, having specialized events during the year to be able to attract people, fill our hotel rooms, bring business to the island. And you know what St. Maarten is all about? St. Maarten is about a lot of fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you the legendary Weller!